Hello guys, it's me Zayn, and today we're gonna try to make 100 orchids. I've seen a video, I've seen people talking about a video which was called something like making 100 orchids from one without Keiki paste. Well, guess what? This bitch gonna try today. Well, the title says it all, so whatever. We will need my laptop at first because we need research. We need to check out the video. Right now I will forget everything that I know about orchids and I'm gonna rely only on that video. Let's record the screen. So if you don't know what video I'm talking about, well, you will see that in a minute, but I think it's a pretty famous video. How is it called? How to make 100 orchids from one without Keiki paste. Well, you know, the internet knows what I need to see. And here's the video, how to make 100 orchids from one without Keiki paste. Tell me everything.
Today we're going to show you how to reproduce your orchid using the simulation of the orchid's natural and organic vegetative reproductive process.
Okay, I'm here for that. Let's do this.
This process bypasses the use of Keiki or hormonal paste in order to successfully achieve.
I'm bored. Tell me what I want to do.
Is to take a stem, cut it beneath the blooms.
We need a stem. Lucky me, I have stems. I have some wilting Phalaenopsis orchids because, you know, I have this one which had quite a few blooms, but they are wilting already, and the only good blooms are these two blooms on the end of the spikes. So I'm not interested in them for longer because they are already wilting, so I can cut them. And the other two spikes which I'm gonna use here are the spikes of the orchids which I used for the Just Add Ice watering experiment. And if you're curious about that, it is a funny video, check it out. You can click on it in the info card and you will see that video. So I have two remaining spikes on these. This one has no flowers, this one has wilting flowers, only one good flower which is already like wilting. So that's okay. I'm gonna use these three spikes for this experiment.
And ensure that the stems contain healthy nodes.
Okay.
As you see here, I have 3 such stems.
I will have 3 such stems as well. I'm following a tutorial again, you know, YouTube content. This is how we go here.
An excellent method that you can recreate at home without using Keiki.
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna recreate this at home.
2 types of moss, either sphagnum or hypnum moss.
I'm gonna use sphagnum moss, not the hypnum. I don't know what's that.
To begin, you're going to take your container.
Okay, we are talking about already the containers. So at first, I'm gonna cut the spikes from my Phalaenopsis orchid. So I need scissors for that. So in order for you to see me, I'm gonna bring this chair here and I'm gonna place the orchids on them so you will see what I'm doing here. So our first client, our first patient here is this Phalaenopsis, and I'm just using this sterile knife which I'm gonna sterilize between cutting the other orchids stems. So that's what I'm gonna do here. Oopsie. So I'm just gonna cut the spikes because, you know, I need spikes. I'm making sure that I will have enough nodes on it. I just cut it and well, that's that. First spike, here we go. And I'm gonna take off the flowers because we don't need that. Now, I'm gonna do the same with the other orchids, but I'm not gonna show that because that's boring and we don't want to see boring stuff here, you know? But since the woman in this video had spikes which didn't have these parts with the flowers or with the wilted flowers or with the flowers which are not on the spike, I'm gonna cut these top parts as well. These are my spikes, these are my tiny spikes which I'm gonna use for this experiment. So I have this really tiny spike with a, well, let's say 2 fresh nodes because this node on the bottom is dried up, but maybe that's still available. I have this longer spike which has 1, 2, 3, 4 nodes on it, which is better. And this is the best one. I have this very long, in comparison to these others, this very long spike with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 nodes on it. So this is the best one. And well, let's continue this video. I'm curious what this woman has to say about this experiment.
I'm using a vase, but if you have a bottle.
Okay, I don't have a vase. I will use this bottle.
You want to ensure that the nodes are healthy, that the orchid is healthy, and that you have a really good initiating base to work with.
Okay, the orchids were healthy. My spikes were healthy. My sphagnum is healthy. My bottles are healthy. Everything is good. Let's do this.
Because moss carries with it antibacterial properties and it is also an orchid's food source, you want to ensure that you are...
What? Excuse me? What did you say? Food source? Moss is a food source? Well, I'm curious about that. What food source are you talking about?
taking a large handful and tightly wrapping it around your stems and
Oh,
nodes.
oh shit.
So as you
She is using all 3 spikes in one bottle. I have here 3 bottles. I'm an overdoer.
be tightly wrapping it around in order to provide the orchid with the food source that it needs.
It's no food source.
So as you see here, I'm just going to go ahead and gently lower the...
Okay, there is no info how much water I need, there is no info on anything, so I will just eyeball it. So here is my bottle, and I don't know how I will fit the spikes with the sphagnum moss wrapped around them into this bottle, in this hole. So maybe I will cut the top part. How should I cut the top part? I'm not sure. Okay, so I have no instructions. So I cut the top part, and I have a bigger hole so I can fit anything inside this. And, well, this is the water level on the bottom. I'm just gonna use this because there is no info.
The stems into the water, ensuring that the orchid has access to water and a food source to propagate itself.
Okay, I'm confused. The orchid has access to water because the actual stems are in the water and they are wrapped around with sphagnum moss. Okay, I'm confused. I don't know what to do now. The sphagnum moss is no food source, I'm sure about that. So I'm just confused here. Let's watch some more and, well, I will decide what to do.
The next step is to cover the neck of the container with some perforated plastic.
Okay, whatever. No more info on this topic, so I'm just gonna wrap my spikes with sphagnum moss. With this very shitty quality sphagnum moss, I tell you guys, there is a forest cut down in this bag. I have so big amount of twigs and everything inside that it's ridiculous. So, since this woman made it look so easy, no, I mean, she had spikes which were like at the bottom and at the top, coming out from the sphagnum moss. So right now I'm not sure what to do, but since this sphagnum moss will suck up the moisture, it will be moist. These spikes will have access to moisture if they are not going down into the water. So I'm just gonna make sure that the tops are not covered with sphagnum moss and I won't think about the bottom part. Okay, so I made this, and I think there are some bugs in this sphagnum moss, so it's not ideal. Well, the only thing I need to do now, according to this video, I need to stick this into this bottle. Okay, let's do this. I'm not sure anymore about this. The sphagnum moss is not going down into the water, so I need to push it down a little bit. Okay, I think it's good. Well, this is what I did, but as you can see, this spike is too long, so I need to cut it. But since there is an available eye on it, I can stick that into the moss as well. Let's do the finishing touches.
This will initially mimic a greenhouse effect in your own home.
Okay.
So I'm going to lightly mist the inside of the container just to create additional humidity.
Well, I won't do that since the sphagnum moss is already wet. I purchased this wet sphagnum moss. I don't know how and why and what is the reasoning behind it, but whatever. I'm not gonna be mist because there is enough moisture there. I'm just sure about that. And also there is water on the bottom, which will evaporate. So that few sprays of misting was completely unnecessary there.
The next step is to, of course, take some perforated plastic. You want to ensure that the plastic has tiny perforations or holes and you still have that movement of air.
I'm not sure about that air movement if there are only a few holes on that plastic, but you know what? Let's do this. Let's do this. Okay, here's my plastic bag thing. I'm doing the same. Am I good? Please help. So since I did not find anything else, only this tape thingy, you know, I'm just gonna use this because this is what I found. And I'm just gonna tape it down because, you know, that's what we need to do here. Okay, my bottle is taped. So since there were no holes on this plastic bag, I need to make them myself with this needle. I don't know how many holes I should make, but I guess a good amount. Ooh, this is fun to do. No, this was fun. I want to do this more often.
So in the meantime, I'm going to examine this other vase that I have prepared. This is from about 2.5 months ago.
Well, okay, does that look like 100 baby orchids? Because I don't think so, but whatever. I'm curious about this stuff. And also I'm curious how the stems, the end of the stems will not rot when they are touching the actual water. I'm curious how I will make like 100 orchids with this experiment. Isn't there anybody who tried this on the internet? I mean, really? Okay, so this is my experiment for today, and I'm just curious what will happen here because I don't think this is that successful. Well, in this case, I should be able to produce 1, 2, 3, 4, 400 orchids in this bottle. I'm looking forward to the following weeks and following months, and I'm looking forward to see 400 orchids in this bottle. If there are gonna be no 400 orchids in this bottle, this bitch is a liar. Okay, so this is my video for today and I hope you liked it. If you liked it, click on the like button, you can subscribe to this channel and my other channel, you can click on the bell button so you will get notifications every time I post. You can leave a comment down in my know it all section below. Also, you can follow me on Instagram and see you next time. Bye guys.